Car Sales. If you are looking for a new car, we will be giving to you, or at least two of you, two $50 gift cards near the end of the show. Actually, we might give away one in the first hour, one in the second hour. But if you are looking for a car, just for going and looking at Payless Car Sales, a $50 gift card for you. Love to hear from you today, 569-1080 and 357-5868. What do you make of this 13-year-old gay kiss on ABC? Look, they're not going to stop. I mean, that's what you have to realize. They don't care. And really, their whole goal here is to make you uncomfortable, make you sick, really just break you down. Our sexuality is supposed to be private. And, you know, they don't believe, first of all, anything that's normal for them is not normal. You have to realize nothing in Hollywood land it's normal. It's just not. It's just a freak show of a, you know, you look at Bryan Singer and the gay parties that he was hosting and the hot tubs and the, you know, sexual assaults that went on there. I mean, these are not normal people. There's nothing normal in Hollywood. So this is an outgrowth of that. I mean, here you have ABC on family television, The Fosters, 13-year-old gay male kiss. So there it is. That's where you're headed. You know, you ask your kids, what's the deal with sexuality? And they're not going to say it should be private. They're not going to say you should be able to eject if people are doing things sexually that are gross. They're just not going to say that because they've been brainwashed that, you know what? The weirder your sexuality is, you like to whip yourself, you like to wear leather and all kinds of weird stuff. Hey, man, you ought to be in a parade. You like to wear a dress and you're a guy? Absolutely. Get up there. Get on that float. That's what they think. It's strange. It is really strange trying to keep on the surfboard of our culture, which is lurching dramatically to the left. You know, look, I'll accept the fact that if this is the way America is going to go, there's not a lot you can do about it. You could try and let your kids know sexuality is private. It's not appropriate to be dragging it out into public. If other people drag it out into public, you can call it sexual harassment, which is what it really is. And that's fine. That's the way we used to do it. If a business owner didn't like the way you were dressed, whether it's no shirt, no shoes, no service, almost you could get in trouble saying that if you said that a little too fast, Bonnie. Or you're acting inappropriately, and this is whether it's boy, girl, and you're 13 years old, grabbing on each other and kissing or whatever it is. Well, Prop 5 is rearing its ugly head behind this mayoral election. Your gender identity. Anybody like to wager a guess on what gender identity might include? Gender expression. Anybody want to wager a guess on what gender expression might include? Does it not include anything? I'm sure it includes everything that's basically offensive and should be private. But my guess is it won't include anything that is deemed or has ever been deemed normal. What a strange day we live in. 569-1080 is the number. So much to cover. I think we're going to have Andrew Halcrow, mayoral candidate, on the air with us today. What time is he coming on?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Anybody else?
Ollie.
Ollie's coming on?
I think so.
Oh, wow. I didn't get in touch with him. Is he really on?
I don't know. You told me to put him on. So.
I probably should. Yeah, I should know that. He's with Payless Car Sales. We're actually giving away two $50 gift cards today for gas if you're looking for a car. Anyway, I'm interested. The most powerful lobby in the state of Alaska is the Teachers Union. We give them something on the order of $2.1 billion a year of public money. I can't even imagine, and they're a very efficient, very effective political organization. They have a whole set of beliefs. Private schooling is bad. Parents directing the education of their children is bad. Using ABC, bad. Having enough schools so that they can fulfill all the needs of the district are bad. I mean, there's just a whole strange, odd grouping of, but they're very powerful because they've given $2.1 billion in public money. So they basically make a huge amount of decisions about what goes on in our town. I'll tell you what happened with, I thought Halcrow had this sewn up. I was sure that's why he got into this race, because he has no chance unless the teachers union back him up. I'll tell you how that turned out, and he'll actually be on a little later in the day today. It's 11 minutes after the hour. Let me go to Dave. Dave, welcome.
Yeah, the explosion with the percentage of people who are gay and think they're gay and stuff like that. If you look at the animal kingdom, when there's an overpopulation due to lack of predators or whatever, that a lot of the animals become uninterested in the opposite sex, and it's an overpopulation issue. And even in the plant species, when you look at it, you've got fields of flowers, and that's when that are all females, and that's when the female flowers begin to go hermaphrodite and self-pollinate, and it's
due to overpopulation. I didn't know that the number of gay people was exploding. My understanding is it's like 1.7% of males and 1.3% of females, so it's still pretty small. But I would bet that it's going to change, Dave, because look, our sexuality is malleable. People don't realize this. You're not born with it. It's bred in, it's bred into you. It's taught to you, and we are creatures of habit. That includes sexuality.
And I'd have to say there's some environmental factors at work.
Of course, yeah. When having these two 13-year-old boys kiss, I'll tell you, that's an environmental factor, which will encourage it. I appreciate it, Dave. Thanks very much. You're listening to the Glen Biegel Show. It is KOAN, KVNT 569 1080. Appreciate that call there, Dave. And 357-5868. 15 minutes after the hour, Glen Biegel Show here on KOAN, KVNT. Go out to glenbiegel.com, and you can find all of the stories that we're going to highlight today. Harrison Ford has, apparently, at the age of 72, do people ever slow down these days? He looks very young, by the way. He looks like he could go grab that hammer and just start going. He was a carpenter. That's when he was actually working on the Star Wars set, when they actually just by happenstance. You haven't heard this story?
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. So he's sitting there working as a carpenter on the Star Wars set, and they're unhappy with the mix of people that they have. They got Princess Leia and they got Luke Skywalker or whatever. They're having different people read. They just, by chance, one guy didn't show or something. They said, you with the hammer. What, me? No, I'm working on the set. I'm not an actor. They asked him to read, and he read better than everybody else. They actually liked they were trying to cast people as groups, and they liked the interaction of the group.
So that was his acting debut.
My guess is because Carrie Fisher probably thought, this guy's cute.
I like this
and
guy.
He knows how to handle a hammer. That's what I'm talking about. So anyway, but that was the deal. So now he's 72 years old, and he turns out he crashed his plane. He got out of the plane relatively unhurt. He was standing beside the completely crashed aircraft. So Harrison Ford, he was hurt, but I mean he was still mobile. He was in I don't what do they call it? Serious condition or something?
Critical?
No, he wasn't in critical condition.
He was not in
He was standing
critical.
beside the plane that was crashed, probably looking at. He probably kicked the plane afterwards because he's just that tough.
He's just so awesome. Now I'm trying to find that that movie that he was in where his plane crashed. Not Star Wars.
Yeah, she says that, oh, didn't you watch the movie where his plane crashed? And I said, if you say that it was Star Wars, I seriously am going to come into that room.
No.
She said, no.
I don't remember. It was with Ellen DeGeneres' girlfriend at the time. And so I don't know.
There's a loaded topic. 569-1080. 357-5868. I'm going to say some words here that I think I could repeat these maybe forever, and it would bring a smile to my face each and every time. Rahm, as in Rahm Emanuel, could actually lose. Let's just marinate in that for a little while. Here you got Obama's hand-picked, bad boy, the chain, the iron in the glove. And he could actually lose a runoff that was unexpected to be a slam dunk or was expected to be a slam dunk for Rahm Emanuel is turning out to be uncomfortably, even dangerously close. Well, wouldn't that just make your day? White U.S. children will be minorities by 2020. After immigrant baby boom, a lot of people are coming here, and apparently, the 13, 14, 15-year-old girls coming across the border, they come across the border and they have sex with anything that moves because that baby, that's an American. And then they are going to get to stay is what they expect. So that's what's happening. So there's an immigrant baby boom. I got this question for you. How are conservatives, people who believe in limited government, I realize, and this is the difficulty for us, the world is awash in liberalism. America stood what's going on down there, but in the end, you think those are more libertarian, but they weren't liberals down there. They got lots of resource development. They keep their courts and their environmentalists in check. They like jobs, and all that kind of stuff. But here you had the United States of America was a shining star of conservatism, of responsibility, of family strength, and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how are conservatives, this is the biggest question that conservatives have to answer. The only person I've heard give an answer, by the way, is Jeb Bush. Let him vote, open the borders, let's just let it happen, let's get it over with. The problem is, unless you love liberty, that's what our founders loved. They didn't love government. They didn't look to government, and they didn't like bureaucrats. They didn't like politicians. They didn't want them to have any power, so they stripped government and made it as small as possible, at least federally. So anyway, I'm consumed by this. I'm very interested in your thoughts, if you have any. How do conservatives appeal to, or not, maybe not even appeal to the current people who are coming over, but how over time, what is their argument? Is it just the traditional, we all do better when we're all treated equal? If we treat everybody equal, we'll all be better off. That's what leads to liberty. It leads to people who rise and fall in their merits, and that's what our country's about. That would be our normal, average play. You know, that's what we would tell most people. But I don't know if it's going to work. It's very difficult because it doesn't work anywhere else across the world. Basically, they expect the government to take care of large swaths of the population, and for church and community and individual giving not to. Number of things running across the desk here. Berkowitz has jumped into the race, and apparently it's Coffey and Berkowitz out in front, and then Dombosky's behind, and then somewhere in the back of the pack is Halcrow. I thought Halcrow would be a lot stronger. I thought he would have difficulty winning unless one thing happened, and this is what I thought he had in the bag. I thought he had the teachers union support in the bag. But he doesn't. Here's the story from the Alaska Dispatch News. Anchorage educators endorse competing candidates, Berkowitz and Halcrow. Let me just ask you a question. Who do you think the average teacher is going to feel more comfortable with? A Republican or a Democrat? We'll just start there. Number two, Halcrow was head of the Chamber of Commerce for the whole state of Alaska. You think teachers are going to feel comfortable with a group of people who are dedicated to free markets? They don't want free markets. They're not interested in free markets. Now, Halcrow had done everything that they ever asked him to do, by the way. Everything. And his only hope, in my opinion, and I'm going to look forward to asking him about this here later on the program, is going to be on with us, was that the teachers union come out and be strong for him as he was strong for them. You know, he did everything he could to give them as much money, to make their case, to make sure that their monopoly over education continued. And they didn't. Here is the story, and he was dependent on this to push his campaign